Hi, my name's Josh Maloney. I'm the Director of Artist Relations for Dean Guitars in Tampa, Florida. And I'm here with Mike Batio and his dog Carly in Mike's studio. How you doing, buddy?
Hey, Josh.
We're just gonna, sit down, have a little chat, hang out, give you guys some cool info, and see what happens. So anyhow, I was flying in this morning, and I was kind of thinking some of the stuff that we're gonna talk about. And I know, man, you've been with Dean Guitars for how long? You been with us now?
Well, I started with Dean Guitars, and then so over 7 years.
Yeah, it's been quite a while, and over those times we've done trade shows, in Germany and Anaheim, and just different company events and different things, and I've kind of gotten the opportunity to get to know you as a guy and as a player, and kind of tweak on some of your guitars that we've built for you over the years, and one of the things I was thinking about that a lot of people always ask me, when they come, we do shop tours and whatnot at the shop, and they come through and, oh man, they ask, Mike Batio questions. They say, man, how is his guitar set up? And one of the things that as a guitar player that I always found was really original about your setup is that people think you play really low action, and you don't.
No.
And what's so funny is that when we did the Music Messe in Germany, I had to set up your guitars for your performances. Right. And I automatically defaulted. I was guilty of it too, but I automatically defaulted to the low action. And I remember you coming in and trying them out and going, man, this is too low. Crank it up. And then I cranked it up a little bit, and it was even more. So I think that you play your action and your guitar setup a lot differently, I think, than people think that you do.
Yeah, well, a lot of it's tone. What I like to do, too, is, I like to have the higher strings raised even higher than the lower ones. So if you look at the neck like this, the strings actually are like that. And I like it for tone.
Right.
Because it doesn't affect the speed playing at all. But it affects the tone. I think if the action's too low, it doesn't sound as good.
Well, that's it. I mean, you tend to really get under it and grab the strings.
Yeah. Technique-wise, I always play like this, except for vibrato, old school blues. And these guitars here, I'm always, even when I do clinics, I always keep an Allen wrench, because when people set them up, they just immediately think he plays fast. It's got to be low. And I'm here, cranking the action, making it higher.
And you were just down at the facility, what, about a month ago, maybe?
That's right.
Not even?
Yeah.
And you brought a bunch of your new discs, which are killer, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
It's awesome. I was listening to it on the way home, and I called you that night and said, man, who is this? Your singer, matter of fact.
Yeah.
I said, who is this guy? It's like, is this the same guy?
Yeah.
And he did you do the Pantera stuff and the Megadeth stuff and the different things, and that guy's pretty talented. But the CD's out now, right?
Yeah.
And you can get it. I mean, what are the sources you can get?
Yeah,
it
you can get it all over, and then so after Christmas, then we're gonna put it on iTunes.
You've been to all parts of Asia. You've been to Brazil. You've been all over the world.
Yeah.
And what do you think is probably the craziest fan thing you've ever had happen? I mean, that you could think of just like, wow.
Okay, one of them was in Mexico, and I have thousands and thousands of autograph pics. I get them by the bucket load. And so what I did...
Your own picks, like personalized picks.
Yeah, personalized picks. It has my double guitar on one side, and then, of course, Angelo.com, my website, and on the other side is the Dean Guitars logo. And so I'm always handing out autograph picks. And in Mexico, I was playing this show in Mexico City, and it was packed full of people. And I don't speak that much Spanish, but when you say heavy metal, people understand what you're saying, or Deep Purple.
Yeah.
And so and everybody always goes, Michelangelo, peak. And so I told everybody, I told the translator, all of you, and I picked up a bag of picks. I go, peaks. They rushed the stage, man. Literally hundreds of people. I'm standing against the wall in the back, getting crushed by all these people.
Is this in a store? Or what?
No, this is a concert.
They're getting their peaks or whatever.
Well, the
they
security,
need.
they started screaming. Everybody's screaming. I said, peak. And that was one of the craziest.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, it was a pretty good one. So I learned never to do that again. I don't give
well,
up
at least
many.
not in Mexico City.
Yeah, right.
The other thing, you and I work pretty closely, and all the guys in the shop on the different signature guitars that you've got.
Right.
The Armor Flame and the MAB2, the Aviator, the Laser, and all that stuff.
Uh-huh.
And I was really impressed about how much technical knowledge you have about the guitar. I mean, obviously, you're masterful on the instrument, but you're really specific about what you wanted in your guitar. And if you remember, you and I worked really diligently on that neck.
Right.
Remember about the thickness and the width and all that. So
right.
I think, from a manufacturing standpoint, I think I can say pretty confidently that the guitar that is in the store is the guitar that you play.
You're right, Josh. And the thing that I liked about it too is we didn't make the neck is really thin, but it's not so overly thin where
Right.
there's neck issues.
Right.
In fact, all the stores I've been in doing clinics, all the people that have emailed me that have gotten the guitar, I've never heard of really one neck issue.
Well, that's it. I mean, you know, we've had a lot of success with these guitars. I mean, you know, it was even bigger than honestly than I thought it would even be. I knew it'd be big, but we've really done well with this guitar. And now we've got the signature pickup.
Yeah.
You know, the Hands Without Shadow pickup, which has done great. You know, so and that's something you had a big hand in as well. You know, I think we wound quite a few pickups and sent them out. You know, and you tried quite a few, and we're pretty diligent on what you were looking for.
Yeah, I have about 90 guitars here now, and I have like a lot of old pickups and I mean dated from the 80s, before, and some of the other vintage guitars. But I think one of the things that you have to know what you like.
Right.
And the thing that I like most about, well, this is the Aviator. This is the second in the series.
Right.
It's got my pickup on here, Hands Without Shadows, Pat's,
Yep.
Pat Baker, the Baker Act,
Yep.
and the Tommy Bolin in the center here. But what I wanted to do is I wanted to make it a really good guitar.
Right.
And I mean, Chris Caffrey from TSO, he's
Yep.
using one of
Yep.
the Armor
Flames.
Flames.
Yep, that's right.
And I see this on a lot of videos now, like on my forum. There's somebody who is doing like mimicking Lady Gaga, right? So
Right.
some guitar player guy, and what's he playing? He's playing the laser in the background. You know what I
Right.
mean? So the guitar's been well received, but one of the reasons it's not the Ego Mikey guitar.
Right.
I mean, you're an expert at guitars. We talked about the neck, and it's not a compromise. We got the thinnest neck you can get, and there's no neck issues.
No. It's
it's not
structurally
raised.
sound. Yeah, of course. Sure.
Yeah, and then one of the things too, I'm not a big fan. I know other guitar players like it, of where the front pickup is angled this way.
Right.
And and that's another thing too. We made sure it was really close to the fretboard, because I like that round sound. When you angle it like this, in my humble opinion, it ruins the tone of the front pickup.
Right.
I mean that some guitar players like that, and that's great. I just particularly I don't care for that. But no, I'm really happy with it.
And that's the great thing about this guitar. It is very well rounded. A rock player can play it, a shred player can play it, a blues player can play it.
That's right.
It really transcends a lot of the music. Now, the cool thing is that I'm kind of seeing a theme in your line. I mean, you've got the armor flame and the chainmail, and then of course the rivets and the kind of the World War II kind of vibe going here. And then of course we can see your double neck in the background, which I've had the pleasure of putting together many times.
Yeah.
At the various
you
band
just
shows
reset
and
it
different
up.
things. Yeah. So you just had that tweak down at the factory, but there's another one of those in the works, right? I mean,
That's
a double or a quad or something?
Yeah, it's actually both. In fact, we've got two of the guitars over here. It's that one. The engineering's a little different because, as you know, it can be two guitars, it can be four, it can be three. So the engineering's a little different. But yeah, I like history, and I always thought, Steve Vai and Joe Satriani have cornered the market on aliens.
Right.
You've got Surfing with the Alien,
Sure.
Alien Love Secrets. So my idea of heavy metal is right here on planet Earth. An aircraft with the World War II insignia, that is metal. Or chainmail,
they're definitely
or like
brutal,
the
man.
laser, or the MAB one. That's what I like.
Well, a lot of people are blown away by that laser because, in our shop we have a showroom.
Right.
And we have all of our guitars hanging up, and that's usually one of the first ones that they're drawn to because it's texturized. You can feel it, and it's like, wow, man, what's going on here with this thing? And they're drawn to pick it up. They have to pick it up and play it. It's funny. No one really knows this aside from us, but when you were down, you were kind of goofing around with one of our custom shop guys, Lewis.
Oh yeah,
Lewis
right.
Cross. He's one of our guys that builds in our custom shop in Tampa, and it's funny. He said to me, a few days before Mike came down, he said, man, if Mike comes down, man, if you could just have him show me something for just 5 minutes, I'd freak out, And so, and we get that a lot, with people coming through tours and stuff. So really, if that can, I don't know if this even applies, but if you could play with anyone, alive or dead, who would be like your, man, I'd like to get 5 minutes with this guy to play with him.
This is going to Mozart.
Really?
Wolfgang Amadeus Mozart.
Really?
Yeah, because he was my favorite composer in school, and he was super genius. He's probably one of the greatest geniuses that ever lived, and he had a really warped sense of humor.
Yeah.
Like that's what they say from the historical documents. He's kind of nuts.
Right.
So in a good way, in a funny way. But I think that's who I would.